I'm not doing a podcast this week on Luke, and it is 2 weeks before Easter. So I thought I would do a verse from John today, John 12:27. Nun he psukemu tetaraktai. Now the soul of me has been troubled. Kai te apo. And what am I to say? Okay, so my soul here seems to mean the inner part of me, the of me, the insides of me. We should not probably read a detailed psychology into this, body, soul, spirit, something like that. The word soul is a little bit more flexible than that, and actually, I would say that's the rarer use of the word probably in the New Testament. So this is more my inner being, my my very soul. We get what it's saying. Don't overread it. In other words, now the soul of me, genitive of me, mu, has been troubled. So this is the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I notice the ending tie. Tie is a third person singular ending. My, sai, tie. Luo mai, lue, lue, tie. It's a third person singular, which means that the subject is a he, a she, or an it. Well, the subject is soul, which in Greek is a she. It's feminine. So that fits. So it's third person singular. I noticed that the ending is shoved right on the stem. Normally we would have something like tie, a connecting vowel. Where does it happen that the ending is shoved right up on the stem? In the perfect middle or passive. And in fact, tie is a middle or passive ending. So the ben or been comes from the fact that this is a passive ending. And the front, where the first letter gets a little beside itself and puts an epsilon after it, we call that reduplication. I don't know why they don't just call it duplication, but anyway, that happens in the perfect tense. So the has comes from the perfect tense. So we have a perfect, passive, indicative, third singular from tarasso. Now, the perfect sense has a sense of it happened and it's remained in that state. So the implication, and we don't want to overread it, but the implication is that his soul became troubled at some point and it has remained troubled. He is a troubled person. His soul became troubled and remains troubled. My soul has been troubled, not just this moment, it's been troubled. Okay. Again, when we look to Matthew, I think it's Matthew 26, it goes further. John tends, I would say, to downplay the struggle of Jesus here. It's not that it isn't indicated; it's just not nearly as strong. We know from Matthew 26, now is my soul troubled even unto death. And in Mark, Lord, let this cup pass from me. Save me from this hour. Jesus says in Mark 14, I think. John doesn't give us the fullness of Jesus's struggle here. Now the soul of me has been troubled, and what am I to say? What should I say? So ti is the interrogative pronoun. With the accent, it's interrogative. Without the accent, it's indefinite. Anyway, I didn't make up this language. So, and what am I to say? So this is a subjunctive. It's what we might call a deliberative subjunctive, a should question. It's a subjunctive question, a deliberative question. So ape, it's aping an aorist. So it is the aorist tense. Now, aorist doesn't mean time at all in the subjunctive. It simply means undefined action. That's all the aorist means. What should I say? The omega there is a first person singular ending, and it is a subjunctive ending. Normally, we wouldn't have an omega on an aorist, but the subjunctive uses omega. So this is a aorist active subjunctive, first singular from lego. It's irregular. Okay, so now the soul of me has been troubled, and what should I say? What am I to say? Is this what I should say? Father, save me from this hour? Is that what he should say? So this is a quote. By the way, that is what he says in the Gospel of Mark. Again, John gives us kind of the end of the story. Jesus doesn't give up. Jesus doesn't run away. But we know that he thought about it. John by itself doesn't give us the impression that he seriously felt like running away. Not that much. Father, save me from this hour. So pater is evocative. It's not pater with an eta, it's pater with an epsilon. So it's vocative. It's had the wind sucked out of it, knocked out of it. It's vocative. Father, pater, sosan me ek tes horas tautes. Save me from this hour, from the hour this. Tautes can do that, the demonstrative pronoun. We translate it from this hour into English. Save me. So this is an imperative, soson. The second person singular imperative endings are lu, lu, son. Here, this is luson. So this is the aorist active imperative, second singular from sozo, to say, Father, rescue me from this hour. Is that what I should say? Well, it is what he says in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 14. But the end of the story is he doesn't shrink from what it is. He does not run away. He goes through with it. But because of this, I came for this hour. This is why I've come. I've come for this hour. I came from heaven. I was in the Gospel of John. I came from heaven. I was incarnated. I became flesh. Why? For this hour. That's why I came. It's all about the crucifixion, or all about going through this suffering for the righteous, for the rightefication of Israel and of God's people. So Allah diatuto elthon ace tain horan tautain. So, but for this reason, I have come into this hour. Elthon is aorist active indicative, first singular from erchomai, another irregular aorist that you should memorize for sure. This is the first irregular aorist you should memorize because it's so frequent. Own could be either first singular or third plural. It's first singular here, I. Elth, it's indicative, aorist active indicative, the eta, so it's indicative. It has an augment of the epsilon. Okay, so now my inner being has been troubled. And what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, for this reason I have come for this hour. Jesus sets his face toward the cross. This has been John 12, verse 27.